So without further ado, we are going to head into an incredible panel. Now, this one is titled The Bounce Back Post COVID-19. We've got 4 phenomenal founder operators who are going to share everything they know and everything they've learned, the good, the bad, and the ugly throughout the pandemic. So here's how it's going to go. There's a Q&A box. If you haven't been with us today, there's a Q&A box. I'll be answering questions as we go, and I will also reserve 10 to 15 minutes at the end to specifically answer your questions. So make sure you're in there. We're keeping an eye on it, and I'll answer it as we go. I'll do it at the end. The format is going to be, I'm going to introduce the guys. They're going to introduce themselves and their business and what they learned. I've then got a question for each of them that has really come from the most asked questions from the market, right? And then we will open it up to you guys. Now, not that it's a competition or anything, but if I was in the United States hosting this, there'd be at least 20 questions waiting for me at the end. Just saying, okay? So get ready, be engaged. Don't just be sitting there in your pajamas. Right, so without further ado, I'm going to get the guys to actually show their faces. So first of all, I've got the fabulous Fraser Smith, co-founder and COO of Vive Fitness. Now, this is a new EMS studio in Westminster and just opened 2 months before COVID hit. So Fraser's going to share some wonderful learnings. How are you? Great to have you on. He's going to share some learnings about that shortly. So I'm just going to introduce the whole team, then I'll get you to do your intro. So next up, we've got Barbara Dembach, founder of High Studios and Chief Marketing Officer and Chief Innovation Officer of Urban Group from Amsterdam. So been in the game a while and has been scaling businesses very successfully. Thrilled to have you on, Barbara, and welcome. Great to see you again. Also from Amsterdam, we've got Tom Moos, who is founder of Saints and Stars Amsterdam. I was literally on my way to Tom's party for the second opening of the church, and COVID hit. So I'm devastated. I really missed that, but we cannot wait to hear your story, Tom. And then last but not least, we've got Claire Stobart and she's coming from Cheshire in the most beautiful, and her place is called Space. It's an adults only, listen to this, 5-star boutique health club. It opened on October the 1st. How you did that, I don't know. I can't wait to hear about it. I'm actually moving to Cheshire because of this place. It is so gorgeous. So can't wait to hear those stories either. Hey, look at you. Looks amazing. Right, so I'm going to get you to kick off. You guys have 5 minutes, and I am going to be timing you. We're going to start with you, Fraser. Tell us about your business. Tell us about your learnings. You had only just opened. Take us through the pandemic. What did you learn?
Hi there. Thanks, Emma. Yeah, Fraser Smith here. I set up Vive Fitness, which is an EMS fitness studio in Westminster about 1 year ago, as you mentioned. And then we promptly shut about a month later. So not the ideal start, but I think we're excited to get opening again, especially now the UK has announced April 12th. So I think we're focusing mainly on 3 key things really that will allow us to bounce back, which I think will be useful for boutiques out there. And I'd say the first one is just to have a little review of the year you've had. And as we learned before, like some guys have really successfully pivoted online, as your favorite word. And I think that was great for them. And I think that's always going to be there now online. But I think ultimately now that we are reopening, it's about a studio. So what you can actually offer in studio again. The past year for us in review, we kind of fine-tuned our operations, even though they were quite short-lived at the time. And now we feel we've got a better experience going forward as a result. COVID brought about a few of those in terms of the cleanliness and the hygiene and just the standards you set day in, day out. And I think it's also allowed you to see the future growth opportunities, such as going online. It's not something we do yet, but it is something we'll do. And then I say the second key thing really is about the members. Like you mentioned earlier, Emma, some people are a little bit worried about will people come back, etc. I'm fully confident they will, because in the UK we had about 2 or 3 full starts, but each time we did start, we found a really good uptake and new members as well. So I think that's something key for all those now that might be a little bit fearful. You're going to get a lot of members who actually want to get fit again, or a whole new demographic of members that now are conscious of their fitness due to what's just happened. So I think that's really important on that. And again, with EMS specific, we know we appeal to a really wide range of people. We've got people in their teenage years all the way up into their 80s because of our low impact nature and the efficiency of it all. So I think it's trying to understand what your new demographic is going to be, whether it's the same or whether you can add to it. And then, yeah, the final key point I would say what we're looking at is just take that forward-looking approach and be really positive with it. Once you've reviewed your past year and how it's gone, just focus on what you can offer now. And for us, I think it's all about a studio experience, because in the last year, if there's one thing that everyone's been lacking, it's experiences. They haven't had it. As much as online is fun, it's not really the same experience as being in studio. And I think that's what people have missed and lacked. And I think that's what's we can really focus on in the boutique industry, that we offer that experience. And because of that one-to-one nature, we offer the private space, the clean space, etc. It'll also create that community feel. So experience and community, and just, yeah, stay positive about it all as well.
That's wonderful, Fraser. And just to stop you there in case, and because it's a new concept, relatively new in London, and perhaps people haven't been to FIBO, tell us what EMS training is.
Sure. So EMS stands for electrical muscle stimulation. It's been around a lot longer than we probably realize. It started out in physiotherapy. So if you had an immobile limb or an injury, they use a stimulus in order to keep that muscle active, keep it strong. And then some smart people further down the line converted this into a whole body approach. And now it's a training concept in its own right, which is it's ideal for people with injuries, if they need a low impact form of training, opposite to a lot of the HIIT classes out there. If you've got specific injuries, you can target it with the EMS, but in a whole body way as well. It'll wake up lazy muscles. It's been great. One of the biggest successes, I guess, we've had this year is people with back pain. It's got rid of nearly everyone who had, not got rid of the people, got rid of nearly everyone's back pain, which has been great. And I think there's just got lots of applications that are still kind of coming to the fore, as it is quite new. And you'll know, Emma, well, that it's huge in Germany already. There's about 1,500 to 2,000 studios out there. And we're one of the early guys in London. And I know it's just made its way over to America as well. So I think that's a general overview of EMS. And it's so far really positive from those that we have.
And let's talk about time. I did my last EMS session in Miami at the FIBO over there. 20 minutes. I couldn't walk, talk, get out of bed the next day. Phenomenal.
So yeah, I think that's one advantage for us. When people do come back to the office space, if they are only going to be in 3 to 4 days a week now, they might want that quicker workout. So I think 20 minutes of EMS is ideal for them. So I guess, yeah, if you're thinking it as a boutique, can you offer a slightly different alternative if some of your demographic has now changed?
Great. And I'd also say, guys, if you haven't tried it out there, don't be a hater until you try things. The depth that it got into my muscles is incredible, because it does that full muscle activation as well. Thank you so much, Fraser. Let's go to you, Barbara.
Hi guys. Hi Emma. Thank you for having me here at Swift. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm delighted to be a part of this panel discussion today. My name is Barbara Dembach. I'm based in Amsterdam, founder of High Studios, a Dutch high-intensity boutique studio concept. And this year we'll celebrate our 5-year anniversary. And we just signed a contract for studio number 5, so that's pretty exciting stuff. So yeah, we now have almost 5 standalone studios and 11 in-house studios within the Tremor facilities across the Netherlands. And I'm also the CMO of the Urban Gym Group and responsible for the overall brand voice of Tremor, Club Sportief and High Studios, as well for innovations and new concepts developing. So that's a lot. It's quite busy year. So yeah, and yeah, this year, well, it's an absolute shocker, like for all of us. But it also shown us a lot of creativity and drive in our team. Yeah, I always want to focus on the positive stuff, which is quite challenging in this situation, to say at least. But I'm glad that we had a motivation and the right team to launch a few nice spin-offs. So like all of you, we did everything: Zoom classes, PT, outdoors, audio, Instagram lives, everything. Yeah, and now we're in the middle of lockdown number 3 for the group classes here in the Netherlands. And all the lockdowns has been different so far. The first one is almost a year ago. Still can't believe it. Yeah, and it was, well, like now here in Amsterdam, super nice spring weather, so people were motivated to train outdoors. Yeah, we started 45-minute outdoor HIIT sessions in a few parks in Amsterdam, and well, that worked out really well. So yeah, we did a lot of stuff. So, and still, yeah, I haven't found all the answers, but trying new stuff every day.
That's wonderful. Quick question for you, Barbara. A lot of people are looking to scale or have more than one club or franchise. How hard was it for you to go from 1 to 2?
Extremely hard. It was, well, and it was really hard. It still is really hard to find nice locations in Amsterdam. So that's really hard. So we launched studio number 1 in 2016 and the second one 2018. So we worked on, we were searching for 2 years when we found the second location.
Is that because of the cost? Is that because everyone from London's moving to Amsterdam? What's going on there?
Yeah, it's quite hard. It's just the right size. That's hard to find, the right size, and isolation. Well, of course, we create a lot of loud music and sound. So yeah, the ceiling has to be big enough to create a box-in-box construction. So that's one of the hardest things here.
Yeah, you bring up a great point. Anyone who's listening out there and who isn't in the fitness industry, I promise you, music will be the #1 pain point you have every single time. In fact, I don't think Tom's even allowed to talk to the people who he has the land lease with. I think he's been banned. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Looking forward to hearing more from you. Tom, let's go to you.
Yes, thank you, Emma. Thank you. Well, I think we are operating in the same city as Barbara just mentioned. So I'm the founder of Saints and Stars, which is a boutique concept in Amsterdam. We were founded around like 2.5 years ago. We offer multiple hit concepts. So we have a treadmill-oriented workout, we have a boxing-oriented workout, more workout with like weights and that kind of stuff. And I mean, like everyone, of course, knows, the last year has been crazy. It's been extremely weird, to say the least. But we try to stay relevant as much as possible. And I think the #1, reason for us is all of our members were working out before COVID, like sometimes 3 to 4 times a week. It's not like that mindset changed in COVID. I think if any, it got even bigger, and people wanted to do even more. And I think with that mindset, we really started to approach it the same way. I mean, we're all about quality. We're all about our community. We try to be as honest and open as possible in our communication, in being as transparent as possible. And I think what we really tried at the beginning, and we actually try to do that from day one, is to really give our members what they want and to help them out as much as possible. Therefore, we also tried a different approach, meaning we didn't ask for a lot of money, but we really wanted to be there for everyone. We wanted to give the best quality we could possibly do in that short amount of time, and just to approach as many people as possible. And what we really saw was actually a huge uptake in new people actually viewing our online content. I mean, we use Instagram a lot. We use YouTube a lot. I mean, Instagram has always been our #1 platform to talk to and to show who we are. And with this weird COVID situation, it wasn't anything different. We just try to stream and give people our best content with that, and that really paid off. I mean, like Barbara already mentioned, we had a weird situation. We opened up a couple times with totally different restrictions each time. On the one point, we could do outdoor. On the other hand, we could do audio workouts inside. It was just pretty crazy, I would say. But I think the most important thing was, and it was actually super fun to see, we grew a lot in followers. We grew a lot in members getting to know the brand. And for us, that actually led to a huge uptake in new members as soon as we opened up. I mean, we have never been as busy on the first few days when we opened up before COVID, actually. So, and then mostly in terms of new people. So what our biggest learning was to just maintain quality, I would say, give our members what they want, and that can be flexible, because at first they don't even know what they want, because, well, it's so new. Do I want to work out at home? Do I want to work in the park? So really adjust to what people actually tell you. And then that really pays off, because people know and really feel when you're there for them, and really to help them out. And they reward that in the end game by really coming to your club and spending a lot of money. And this can also be done on a level that doesn't require a whole lot of investment. Just be there for your members, I would say, and that for us really paid off well.
Thanks, Tom. So 2 things there, guys. I hope you heard it. Community. They really leaned into community, and everyone went back. So stop with the fear factor. People are coming back to clubs. If you're not following Saints and Stars as an app, do so. Tom, it's almost like watching Saturday Night Live. Every morning I get up and those boys have done some other ridiculous whole show. Like, it's just crazy. So the TikTok challenges, you can really dance. I mean, I die. So thank you for the entertainment. Yeah. Loving it. And then last but not least, and thank you so much. I know you had to hustle to get to us, Claire, and you have a slightly different offering. Actually, Tom does too. You've got personal training as well. We'll come back to that in the questions. But Claire, you're more of a full service. You've got lots of things going on. Let's hear your story and welcome to the panel.
Emma. Hi, so my name is Claire Stobart and I'm the founder of Space Health Club. We're a brand new members only luxury destination based in Cheshire. So we describe ourselves as being quirky, fun, very high energy, but we also have a calm and elegant side where you can relax and restore after your workouts. So we've had a roller coaster of a year, really. So we opened up in, it's been very, very interesting because we opened in October, and it was a bit of a, it wasn't the experience that we were looking for with our staff in the masks, and there was restrictions at the time, but it went really well. We signed up lots of new members. They loved the concept of our club, and then we had to close again in November. We opened again in December, and then there was all the government guidelines where we ended up having to close the restaurant. We closed, we stopped all the classes, and that was our the main thing at our club is all about the community and the social aspect of it. Like as Tom was saying, that is the biggest part of us is the community feel, and we offer such a lot within our membership. So we got a lot. It was frustrating, but there was lots and lots of positives that came out of it. Our members have been so supportive. They've given us lots of good feedback, and yeah, it's just been a real whirlwind for us. But we're building the brand. We're working our sales and marketing. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the panel today as well. I'm really excited and really looking forward to sharing our experiences.
Look, we're delighted to have you. Let's talk about your quirk, because I stalked you. You've got a slide. You've got a slide in your facility. Right? Tell me about that, and tell me some other quirks that you have. What might not a normal have?
So we have some unique features. I think we are the only health club that has a slide in our gym. So it's like a playground for us. So we have training stairs, which are double the depth of normal stairs. So the idea is that you run up those training stairs and you go down the slide. And we quite often get groups of us together. Well, before we close, we'd get a group of us together and we would do the training stairs and down the slide. And it's such a good fun, but it's such a good workout as well. You really feel the burn in your legs. We've got a crane in our gym as well. So while we put a mezzanine floor in the gym, and we did a lot of work to it as we were building. And as we were doing the construction work, we thought about why can't we have a crane in our gym? It's so different and unique. And we made that part of the workout. So you actually climb the crane to get to the mezzanine. Yeah. There's lots of little crazy things going around in the club that
I love it.
And unique.
And then one more question. You talk about a cap of 800 members.
Yes.
Is that to keep it luxurious, or what's the thing?
Okay. The reason with the 800 members is to keep it, the main reason really is to keep it personable and to keep it as a family and a community. So every member of staff knows the name of every member, they know what they come in for, and we can keep that luxury feel as well. And, we're called Space, we want to keep the space in there.
I know it's early days. I expect this is going to feel like a VIP list to get on. Is that the feeling that you're going for?
Yeah, VIP members in there, yeah.
Okay. I love it. Thank you so much. Well, welcome everybody. Right, I'm now going to go around and fire a question to each of you, and then I'll get everyone else to pile in, only if they have something to add. So Fraser, let's start with you. You'd only just opened. You mentioned there was new members every time you reopened. What did you do? What did you learn? And how did you create momentum with each time?
Sure. Yeah, I think we've got a small team, but they're all great at what they do, and we kind of all mucked in together and just to make sure that we're ready. So I think it's probably the standard avenues. You market in the local area, you kind of create a little bit of hype, you do all the social medias, the online, etc. And you, similar to what we've all been saying, you still keep that community feel. So you reach out to your members, make sure that those that you do have feel very welcome. And we were very pleased that we got quite a lot of referrals from the existing members as well. So I think it's just the standard approach isn't going to change. You want to market in all the different avenues, but make sure you do it right and you know who you're trying to target. And then use your existing members, because of that experience they get and that community feel they have, to then generate the next round of members for you.
Right, that's great. And then given that this is a new concept, it's got to be a new concept for many of your customers. How are you finding that journey, I guess, that journey to sale?
Probably better than we expected, actually, because when you look into EMS, like you say, you kind of have to try it in order to believe it, because it sounds a little bit like, what is this? And I was no different. I've got a sports science background. I've been in the industry for about 15 years now. And I think, it was only once I tried it and I did the research into the science that you really realize what it is. So I think we work well with Mihar Body Tech. They're our partners in crime. And they really help kind of get the word out there along with us that people really can benefit from it. And like you said, once you've actually tried it, you realize what you're getting from it. And I think that's then made it a lot easier, hence why people have then referred us on to the next round of people, because they actually like I didn't know what it was, thought it looked a bit odd, gave it a try and actually loved it. And now it's got me fit, it's making me feel better, etc., etc.
Yeah, no, that's great. I guess I'm drawing the comparison. It hasn't really taken off in the US here. I mean, no one in the US really likes ideas that don't come from the US. So there's that, and especially probably Germany. So there's kind of that, but I don't think they've done the same job that you seem to have done in terms of educating quite quickly. So well done on that. Barbara, I'm going to go to you. You mentioned very quickly spin-offs. Let's unpack that a little bit, because you're very good at this. You're very good at marketing. You've been in the game 5 years. You're still in the game, and plenty of boutiques aren't at this point. So, could you unpack outdoor? What are the logistics to that? Unpack, some of those other initiatives, audio.
Yeah, just like I told earlier, that we were facing different restrictions in every lockdown. So like Tom mentioned earlier, so during the first lockdown, it was possible to train outdoors, and during the second lockdown, we weren't allowed to train outdoors in big groups any longer. So we focused on different types. So the second lockdown, it was PT. Third lockdown was more audio driven workouts. But with the bootcamp, the outdoors, it was quite, I started my fitness career in 2008 with bootcamp, with the bootcamp club. And the business grew tremendously in a few years, in 5 years, with 100K members and 200 trainers across the Netherlands. So when we're facing the first lockdown, I knew basically what to do. I mean, we had enough trainers, we had enough teachers. Also because we have a lot of trainers across the Netherlands from Train More. So that's why we added a few parks. And for now we have almost 300 classes per week running across the parks. And we're going to launch different parks in different cities soon. So that's good. We still don't know if, we don't have all the answers right. So we still don't know if people continue the outdoor classes when we reopen the studios. But on the other hand, we have such a nice weather, and it's a total different target group as well. So I think, we're just going to move on with adding new classes on the outdoor schedule. The second.
So do you keep with your product? Do you have a set product that all the trainers do, or do they do their own?
No, we have a set product. The classes are not pre-scripted though, but the outlines are always the same. So we tried, we do 45-minute HIIT classes as well, like indoors. Yeah, and we do auditions like we do for the indoor studios, and we have our own high outdoors academy, our own bootcamp academy. So yeah, basically it's pretty much the same as indoor. So it's always 45 minutes. We always have the same setup, like warming up core, always a challenge in it. And but within the outlines, the instructors have enough room, enough space to for their own creativity.
Be creative. Also, I spend a lot of time in the Netherlands. The weather's not always that good. What do you do around the weather?
It's awful. The weather is awful here in the Netherlands. and that was our biggest issue with the third lockdown, because we had everything. We had the outdoor classes and everything was in place, and we trained our instructors, and we had lots of auditions and everything. And then we had snow here. We have a lot of snow here, so yeah, we have canceled all the classes again. And we were like, it's almost a joke, right? I mean, we can't do anything now. So we can't do PT, we can't do outdoor classes. So yeah, it's just, you always have a small group of people who always will continue with the outdoor classes, sort of the warriors. We're in this together type of members. So yeah, but it's of course less popular than the indoor classes. Yeah.
Right, great.
Yeah.
And what would you say, like in a revenue perspective, like during this time, how's that gone? Like just generally, has it brought much revenue in? Has it replaced? Has it done 30%? Like what's it done for you during this time?
Yeah, well, it absolutely haven't replaced the revenue, because we had a lot of classes on the schedule before lockdown with the indoor with the studios. So it's now for 25%, but well, it's more than enough, or at least for enough to cover all the rent costs of the studios who are closed now. So yeah, and well, we found a sort of sweet spot in selling the right packages now, because we tested and we tweaked a lot, and now we know that which packages are really popular. So we'll continue and just keep adding more classes and new parts to the schedule.
Great, that's wonderful. Do any of the other panelists have any spin-offs or things they did differently that they would like to unpack for the audience today?
We basically also did outdoor classes, but I think we did differently. I think to high studios was that we were really looking for locations in like hotels, which of course were also kind of close. So we choose like open spaces that we could also create like more of an indoor feeling. So for example, we could create, even when it was raining or snowing, a situation where people could still work out. We had like heaters and that kind of stuff inside of the location. We could do smoothie sales, we could do add-ons, all of that kind of stuff. So we really try to create really an indoor feel, even though we were outside, just making it the best possible service feeling. Let's put it like that, because I think especially in this time, you see a lot of businesses with a garden, with a rooftop, not using it. So those can give some great locations for that.
Tom, did you run that as an event, or did you run it as a venue, as a schedule?
Yeah, we had it as a venue, and it actually was, especially in summertime, but even in the wintertime, it was actually for us very good, both in terms of experience, but also in terms of getting the revenue in.
Wonderful. Oh, that's great. Any other examples from the panel? Okay, Tom, we're actually going to go with you now. So you focused a lot on engagement. Could you give us some specifics around what are some of the things you do to make your members feel special? I mean, obviously there's bombing people with social and messages and stuff. What are some of the special things you've done?
I think the first thing that comes to mind would be Valentine, of course. We had it, was it like 2 weeks ago or something? I mean, some things, I think the most important thing is you got to know what your members actually want. So just ask them. I think we ask our members on a very, very regular basis what they like, both in terms of review afterwards, after you did something as before. I think with Valentine, we did like a nice thing of actually delivering Valentine boxes to our top 50 members. So the people that come the most often, and really reward them for being a member with us. And I think the most important thing with this is also show people what you do. And that's why our social is so important, because we really want to show exactly how we do it and what we do, because then other members also have that same feeling. And I think, I mean, the thing, of course, with referrals, which is a big thing across the industry, referrals works really well, but it works even better if other people see and feel the same thing as that valued member has. So I think that for us has always been the mindset for us. We want to make it fun. We want to create memorable experiences. Let's put it like that. Yeah. So I think Valentine would be the most relevant idea for that. But we did other things to just really create the engagement with those members.
But one of the key points there is really know your members, and you've never been shy. And I know that the people on the front desk really know everyone and really intimately. Any other examples from the panel, stuff that you've done during this time around engagement?
I think it's just similar to Tom, really. You kind of just, because the boutique space has that advantage that you tend to know all your members. So you can really personalize what happens. I don't confess, we apologize, we didn't send out chocolates and roses to everyone like Tom did, but we did stay in touch.
We haven't made any money yet.
Yeah, exactly. All in time. But we did, make sure we stayed in touch on a one-to-one basis from the whole team as well. We'd call them regularly, email them regularly as well, just to make sure that whatever they want, we could offer. Some people were quite happy to just ride out lockdown after lockdown, whereas others, they wanted more of a almost daily approach to speaking to us and getting guidance.
Do people actually pick up the phone in the UK? We don't hear, because it's always a sales call.
I think, again, I'll go with the boutique. It was only with the existing members, so they knew who we were and who was calling, so they were okay.
Oh, I love it. And Claire, did we cut you off?
Yeah, so like Fraser, we called all our members and spoke to them, and explained about the membership and asked them how it was going, and told them what we had going on, because we have a space app as well, and that's through the Techno Gym. It's a digital offering through Techno Gym, and that includes thousands of on-demand classes. So we're making sure that they're aware of that. And also we have, with our restaurant, April's Kitchen. So April is still doing takeaways, and she actually delivers to your house. She does really fresh meals and smoothies, juices, Buddha bowls, everything you can imagine. And there's an app on our app. You can just click a button and you can have that food delivered to your house through that, and with a discount for the members as well. So it's something a bit different.
Oh, that's wonderful. And of course, I do love being in the luxury sector where people like to pay for the stuff. So
yeah,
it's all good. Claire, we're going to stay with you. Let's lean into, so you've got a playground. You've also got the calm side. Let's talk about mental health, because that has been very tried during these times. Tell us how you're addressing that in your facility.
So as I said, with the lockdown, we did call all the members and speak to them and ask them how they were feeling, and our sales and marketing team did that, and they said they'd be on the phone for 20-30 minutes. They just wanted to talk. So that's a sign that they're obviously, they want to speak to us. They want to, they're maybe getting bored at home. We also, so with our offering through the app, that was all, we put regular information on there as well. Also relocating staff in different areas. So we've had a couple of our duty managers doing more of a sales and marketing role. And even some of them have been meeting up with the members and going for, socially distanced walks with them. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you. I'm going to go to the questions, because there's actually some great questions coming through, and you guys can jump in as it makes sense. So first question from David. Thank you, David. What is the panel's measure or the view of being relevant? What does that mean to you guys? Who would like to take that one before I point a finger? Being relevant for your market, what does that mean, and how do you measure it?
Yeah, what do you mean by that? By relevant for our customers, or relevant for our members or community? think
Yeah, David, if you're out there, just give us a little bit of clarity. Measure value of being relevant. I mean, you've got to be relevant for your market. You've got to be relevant for your member. So, I mean, it could be a targeting question, like how do you target and stay relevant? I think Tom partially answered it in the sense that ask them and you'll be shocked sometimes. They go left when you thought they'd go right. And, we're always surprised. And that's, be data led, right? Who responds to which image? Who responds to which price point? You've done this ad nauseum with your boot camp. Now you're with the package, but you couldn't have guessed it, right? It's got there through trial and error and asking and who buys it and who doesn't and all of that stuff. So if there's some more clarity there, David, please come back to us. Here's a good one. What sort of tools are you guys using for social media to assist in the reopening of your gyms? Platform, software, social media.
I think social media wise, we just use it to be, as open and transparent as possible. So we tell them exactly what's happening at what point, because the thing is, we of course follow all the news and all the guidelines regarding our industry and our sector, Corona wise, what's happening. I think our members, most of the time they don't. So I think especially the biggest and best platform to actually tell people what's happening is your, definitely for boutiques, is your social media in this case. So we're just very open, transparent at all times to tell people what's possible and what's happening at that point.
Great. Anyone else want to weigh in on that one?
Yeah, I agree with Tom. We're exactly doing the same thing. It's just, keep your customers updated, your members updated. And as well as we discussed earlier, so the personal attention is really important. So besides the social media, we did a lot of stuff as well, like personal written postcards in the mailboxes of the members, for example, or online bingos or online Kahoots. That's a game app. Dancing parties, bingos, everything. So I think that's try to keep them engaged, I assume. Yeah.
And then just a software question. What software are you using for booking platforms, CRMs, those sorts of things?
Software for booking platforms. Yeah, particularly for social media, we don't use any, but for booking platforms, we use SyncFit. That's our booking platform. Yeah.
SyncFit, yeah. What are the rest of you using?
We're currently using Glowfox at the moment.
Glowfox, Virtua Gym, and you've got a full-on website, haven't you, Claire?
We use Technogym. We use their Technogym app, and they can book the classes through the app, and they can also pick whereabouts in the class that they want to be.
Great, and I saw you've got that lovely journey. I think I saw you promoted a Technogym My Wellness journey as well. Guys, what's happened with landlords? Have you been able to get leases down during the pandemic?
Yeah, it really depends on which landlord, because number one, we could negotiate with a few landlords, but certainly not with all of them, unfortunately. So, And
what sort of deal did they give you, Barbara?
Well, some of them gave just a discount on the rent. With some of them, we could negotiate a longer contract term. But in none of the cases we had just 100% discount, unfortunately.
Right, so it was a percentage. Did you have to pay it back later, or did they forgive it?
Yeah, no, we have to pay back later. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think in the UK it's similar to Amsterdam. It's a wide range. Like I've heard some people immediately, as soon as the lockdown started, the landlord gave them rent free, whereas other landlords have bullied them so much that some people handed back the keys. So I think it's trying to work out.
It's awful.
Yeah, I think it's almost like your members. You need to try and build a good relationship with your landlord in order to get some benefits. We managed to pull a rent-free period forward, and we're still in negotiations about the next few months or the next 7 weeks prior to reopening. But they're generally receptive-ish.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
Well, I think what you see now is, especially in the first couple of months, landlords were, of course, very afraid to give discounts at all. Then a couple of gyms or in the industry actually went to court. And I think now, especially because the Supreme Court also has some sayings on that, you really see industry-wide, but also in retail, 50-50%. So each time when you had to close for an entire month, you have to pay 50%, and the other 50% is basically for the landlord. And I think that's also what we did with all our locations. And I think you see that more and more now that that's being ruled. Right,
got it. And what about you, Claire?
Yeah, we're very fortunate. We own the property. Therefore, I do still have to account for the rent in my P&L. However, that has been taken out for the times that would be closed. So we are in a fortunate position there.
Pretty much all of us on the panel want to be you right now. David's come back, guys. David has come back. Relevant to the market. What are you doing to be relevant to the market? Who would like to take that one?
I'll go from the EMS angle. I think it's what you touched on before, that it's just educating people as to why they benefit. And then once they've had that experience, trying to explain how that if you carry on doing it, you will get the success that you're looking for. And I think the relevance really depends on what you're offering. It's like Tom said, you've got to do your research on the market trends. And like you mentioned this morning, there's loads of cool tech out there which are advancing different trends. But I think relevance needs to be dependent on what your studio wants to offer and keep it relevant.
And I think the most important feature here is probably growth. I mean, if you do something because you listen to your members or you try something, you need to see growth in that approach. I mean, if it's working the first week and you see a decrease in the second week, what's happening? I mean, investigate it, ask questions, and probably if it's going down, it's probably not working in the long game. So you really need to see growth in terms of relevancy at all, I would say.
Great, thank you. Great question here from Hazel. So everyone's mentioned community. What do you guys consider community? And this is an interesting question because a boutique by definition is kind of already a community because it's very like-minded, it's very specialized, it's going to attract and defer, a bunch of people. So what is your definition of community, and how do you know if you're delivering it?
I think our definition of community would be that we're like very close. So I think a community in general is not just us having a lot of members. I think it's also members talking to us and giving us ideas and telling their friends. So I think really it works both ways, I would say. So when you have like a very good community, for example, on social, you will also see that they're promoting you a lot. And you also see that they comment a lot or that they like you a lot, and it works like both ways. So I think, and that's primarily from a social media perspective, but it could also be like in club, they should be engaging with you as well. And I think whenever you have that community, literally going from person to person, I think that's for us at least what community is.
Great. And I think you make a great point there. It's actually doing something, isn't it? It's talking, it's turning up, it's referring, it's liking, it's following. So, I mean, that's engagement, I guess, and that sort of feeds in. But you're talking about active community, not just people standing in the same room, right? Yeah, anyone else like to add to that?
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's also, a lot about listening to your customers. Basically, just like what Tom said earlier, it's just try new things, try to focus on growth, ask your members what they need, ask what they don't like. Well, we learned a lot from that. So, do surveys, just, interviews in depth, just ask them, what do you like about the concept? What do you like about the class? We have new trainers. What do you think? What's your idea? Are you missing something? And that's, they got engaged. You keep them engaged more if you listen to them.
Right, great question here from Jade. Are any of you doing email marketing campaigns to re-engage lost members over the COVID period? So what specifically, how are you getting those folks back?
I think as soon as you open up a club, at least it was for us, I think the first month for us is really a focus on our current members and activating them. I mean, what we on purposely didn't do was opening up with a huge sales campaign with primarily new members, simply because, the members who have been there but couldn't work out are the most important ones. So I think Yeah, mailings and mail flows, that's important, definitely. But I think your entire focus as soon as your business open up should be primarily about your current members coming to the club again, because they will feel appreciated. They will like the way that you present to them like that. And they just need to know, because if they hear your voice, they want to hear, welcome back, current member. And they don't want to hear, hey, you got a crazy discount for new members, because they haven't heard from you in a while. So I think that for me is the most important thing. And do we have mail flows attached to it? Yes, definitely. Because if they haven't come in the first 2 weeks, well, then it's pretty sure that you can see them as a non-user or a sleeping member. So yeah, then I would say definitely focus on that a lot and trying to get them back.
Yeah, I'd agree with Tom on that as well. It's all about your current member base to start with, and then send out a general info marketing campaign to let them know that you've reopened, give them a little bit extra in terms of what you've changed and now what you're offering as well. And then again, they were an ex-member, you probably ended on good terms. So don't be shy. And if you want to give them a call and just see how they've been during the lockdown, and just let them know that you're going to reopen again. If they want to come back, they're very welcome.
Yeah, I agree on that as well. Well, the pandemic has also raised awareness for the health benefits of working out, right? We all know that exercise is medicine now. So yeah, and besides that, everybody right now is craving that sense of community and fitness, especially in group classes, really do bring that. So yeah, we saw that twice after lockdown. It was the clubs, studios were so crowded, you know, even with people who didn't work out quite a time. So yeah, it will come back. Stop the fear factor, like Emma said.
Actually, just further to that, there's a related question. Have you seen a change in the demographic over COVID? Like, I guess if you're getting new people there for health benefits, that's a slightly different demo than just, you know, the cool, young, fairly fit millennial crowd, right?
Yeah, we saw that in personal training, actually. A lot of people that started working out for the first time, we never saw it during our HIIT classes. Some people are still afraid for high intensity classes, think, oh gosh, I'm going to die when I'm going to do this class.
Well, they are.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's true. They are. Yeah, so we see a lot of new people coming in with our PT classes. Yeah.
We had the same, Emma. We noticed, I think, because we're a little bit different to the rest of the panel. We're a very small space, and you'll only ever have 1 to 2 people training at any time. So I think we did find that people were a little bit more health conscious and a little bit fearful of, say, COVID. Were quite happy to come to our boutique space because they knew it was more of a private experience. So I guess from a boutique sense, you do have that advantage over the really big gyms that can't really offer this kind of safer environment, at least for the first few months of reopening. And then I personally think we're all fickle enough to just try and get on with it once we feel we're all safe again, and everyone will start coming back with all the different demographics, and the old and the new.
That's great. There's a related question around capacity. So given that some of us might have to now distance, and you already have this built in, Fraser, because you've already got only a few machines, you're only serving a few people, but how do the rest of you feel around the economics? Like, how are you managing through low capacity and then actually having to go into the summer months where it's generally a bit lower anyway? Or is it not going to be this year because everyone's at home with no money? I mean, what do you predict there?
Yeah, it's awful. We downsized our capacity at the studios with 2/3. So it's low capacity, and yeah, we doubled the amount of classes per day. So we added a lot of classes on the schedule. So, and even time slots like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. are super crowded now. So it changed because people, well, not all of them do have the 9 to 5 anymore. So yeah, our most popular classes were 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Well, obviously, you know, the peak hours are not peak hours anymore. So yeah, and hopefully it will stay like this when we reopen.
Right. Anyone else on that topic?
I think, especially if we open up, let's say in summertime, I think you'll definitely won't see the traditional summer dip. I think everything just changed in that regard. So whenever we open up, you'll definitely see a younger demographic starting first. So-called, well, that you can actually call them the early adapters, and then you actually see more and more people just coming in with that. So I don't think this year will be the same traditional January and September months as being the good ones.
Some great advice there. There's a wonderful question. I'm looking at you, Mark, at Aspire to Fitness. You ask, we lost just under half our membership base during the first 2 lockdowns. Currently trying online classes. I'm really impressed with today's talk around technology. Thank you, glad you found it useful. Should a small club like ours try to buy into something like Les Mills or HIT brands? Now, fascinating question. I was on a webinar today with Intellivideo, which is the platform that Les Mills has just transitioned to, and they spoke exactly to this. If you don't have the know-how or the grunt, partner with someone who does. So they've actually, like by way of example, and Les Mills is 25 years my background, so I can speak to this. They've created with Intellivideo an option to buy the content if you want the content, and to provide your own instructors using license-free music if you want to do that mix and have people attracted to your club. So my answer is absolutely do that. If that's what your club needs and you're seeing some good wins and you need to get people back, fill the gaps with someone professional. Content is king, it's coming back. All these guys have their own content. They've got content locked down on what they do. If that's a gap for you, absolutely. I'd be picking up the phone tomorrow and talking to Les Mills or whoever you feel would be a good fit for your demographic, for your members, but absolutely. And you could have that switched on like super fast. Never underestimate how hard it is. I've worked with a lot of these brands, how hard it is to get your product super right. Look at the background that those zero gravity guys had. They both got science degrees, know what they're doing, effervescent, the whole thing. So that would be my answer. I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in on that one. Okay, here's our next question. In the UK, 64% of adults, this is from Olga, are classed as overweight or obese. And that's a real stat. The same problem exists in the Netherlands. 50% of Dutch people aged 18 and over were moderately or seriously overweight. Do you focus on nutrition as well? Because there's plenty of schools of thought that say 80% what goes in your cake hole, 20% exercise. What's our view on food?
Yeah, I'd say 100%. I think if you're trying to do one without the other, you're in for a tough time and you're going to get disappointed. The majority of people want to do both, and especially if you are trying to do weight loss, there's no magic exercise fix. You have to focus on nutrition. So my background's nutrition as well, and we have an in-house nutritionist too. So part of our offering is that we'll offer nutrition to any member that wishes to have it, because sure, EMS is our main front, obviously, but ultimately we want people to get results. And if you ignore nutrition, they're not going to get the same results.
Great. Anyone else? What are you guys doing for nutrition?
I would say it depends. I mean, I think we focus a lot on nutrition if people really want the full approach. If people want the lifestyle approach, the nutrition approach, and exercise. But you also have people out there that are really looking for a fun and engaging workout for 3-4 times a week, while eating and having the same lifestyle. And I think, and again, I might piss off a lot of people here, but I think as soon as people eat their normal regular diet and still work out like 3, 4, 5 times very actively, very good, I think they'll see results already while having this happy and fun way of changing their lifestyle slowly. I mean, nutrition can be a second part to actually take them a step further, or it can be their first part if they really like that. So I think it really depends on what people like and what people prefer. I mean, we have a lot of personal trainers working for us, great nutritionists focusing a lot on nutrition for people, but some people are just not, they don't want that straight away.
Yeah, I think going along with Tom there, I think if someone's clinically obese, it's ultimately they should have nutrition added in, but at the same time, it is ultimately up to them if they want it. Same here, like EMS is the first choice, and then nutrition is if they want to add it on. Sorry, Claire, we're getting a bit of feedback there.
Yeah, a bit of feedback there.
Yeah.
There's Mike, sorry.
So yeah, our personal trainers are nutrition experts as well, and they've been working closely with our restaurant, April's Kitchen, and they've been designing the meal preps for our members. So we see that we've had lots of good feedback, and it's, that's something that they really want.
That's great, guys. We've got 5 minutes left. I'm going to go around the panel and just ask, anyone can I just say how impressed I am with these questions? This is like the best questions ever from the UK. Just awesome. Thank you. And from Turkey. Anyone that we have not answered live, we will commit to answering in the chat box. So please go back if we've tried to answer as many as we can. I would now like the panel, as we move into Q3 and 4, what is your main tip? What is your thing that you'd love to share with this audience in terms of the bounce back? What's the biggest thing that you can offer to these guys? Let's start with you, Claire.
I would say expand your offering. So so that you're more than a gym or a studio. So your members can't live without you. You know, you want them to be a lifestyle choice. I would say that's the most important thing. And then the only other thing I would say, which we are so hot on, is hygiene and cleanliness. Make that your biggest priority.
Thank you, Claire, and congratulations. Your club is just beautiful, and just for the innovative thought, as well as, you know, just the vision for it. It's just incredible. Fraser, what have you got to share with the group?
Sure, I'd say it's similar to Claire in a way. I think you've got to focus on the member experience. Like we said earlier, the people have lacked experiences for over a year now, so they'll really be keen to get back to it and create that community feel. But as Tom's come to a few times, make sure it's a personalized approach as well. So make you members feel valued and let them enjoy the experience.
Great. Barbara.
Yeah, oh Claire, I'm so jealous of your club. Just want to say
all moving to Cheshire.
Yeah, I think in this phase it's important to make sure that we're thinking ahead and not hanging on to the COVID story for too long, although that's quite challenging sometimes. But I think that we should be aware that it's our opportunity to move our business forward. And that there are a lot of opportunities to bounce back post-COVID. Also, I think it's really important to focus on the engagement. Well, not only focus on the engagement with your members, but also with the team, because the team make your brands. And I think that's super, super positive and really important. So we still see our whole team every single week via Zoom, or walk in the parks, or drinking hot chocolates in the snow, or dancing parties via Zoom. And I think that's really, really important. So don't lose your team out of sight.
Yeah, but you Dutch are crazy. Bring us home, Tom.
I think my advice would be, even after COVID, everything will forever be different. It will never be like 2019 again. I think my biggest advice here would be, as soon as you can open your club again and do everything like normal, please don't focus only on your club or your clubs in offline, but also really focus on the online part of it, because this will definitely a change and will stay there. So try to stay relevant both in club and outside of the club.